Okay, hello everybody. Please confirm you can hear me properly. It's good to be here once again for the AWS Cloud Security Study Series. Yeah, please confirm you can hear me, and I believe we have some persons online joining us. So let's do well to indicate the chat is open and let's communicate properly. Okay. Oh, awesome. I can see already it's on live. So I would like more people to join and let's give interaction. I'm Samuel Joseph. I'm your moderator for today and I'm live from Lagos, Nigeria. So I want to see our audience. Let's get on board. Let's hit the chat. Let's hear where you're coming from. I can see Christiana is live and Ore is also live. So please, where are you chatting from? Where are you listening from? Where are you watching from? Where are you streaming from? It will be a pleasure to know. As I said, I'm Samuel Joseph and I'm streaming live from Lagos, Nigeria. It's good to have everyone here on board for today's session. So I'm waiting to see some other persons while we have others join us for today's session, which will be an amazing session for today. So let's go. Okay, so that's awesome. So Ore is live from Maldives. So it's a global meeting we are having here. So it's not just for Nigerian alone, not even just for those in Africa, but it's a global meeting we are having here because this is a session that we obviously impact live. So I want to see more persons where you're chatting from, where you are watching live from, or where you are joining us live from. It will help us a whole lot. So I'm waiting. Oh, we have Christiana streaming all the way from Canada. We have Victoria John streaming all the way from Akwa Ibom. Wow. We have Jamal all the way from Bangladesh. Wow, this is awesome. This is awesome. I'm thrilled already. I'm thrilled in advance. And it's nice seeing a whole lot of people streaming from different places in Nigeria. That's in the world, sorry, not just in Nigeria, in the world. So we have a large audience, and it's awesome to have you all on board. Thank you so much for joining. I see some persons are streaming live from LinkedIn. Some persons are streaming live from YouTube. Some persons are streaming live from our other platforms. So I think it's also an opportunity for us to share the streaming link, invite your friends, make noise about it, even on your status, on your platform, on all the different platforms. Let everybody join and be part of this awesome session. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm saying that, so I'm still waiting for some other persons to join in before we go on to introduce our speaker for today. That will be taking us on an amazing session, and I trust it will be a wonderful time for us to all participate in. So let's just stay on board, and it will be a wonderful time. So waiting to see more persons streaming. So please feel free to just let us know where you're streaming from. Let us know where you're streaming from. Let us know where you are joining us from. It will be nice for us to know. And also to add, let's not be in the haste to leave after the speaker is done. There's opportunity for questions and answers. Let's be for anything that will be taught today that maybe a concept was not so clear. Let's do well to ask questions. Let's do well to reach out to know what maybe has been said that was maybe not clear. Then also there's also a giveaway session after this meeting where we'll also just have a quick quiz on what has been taught, and it's an opportunity for those who participate to also get some giftings from the community. So it will be an awesome time. I look forward to that. I look forward to seeing who our winner for today would be. Okay, I can also see David streaming all the way from Nairobi, Kenya. That's awesome. Thank you, David. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Jamal. Thank you for joining. Victoria, thank you for joining. Christiana, Ore, and every other person for joining. Yeah. Oh, I also have someone streaming from Lagos, Abdul Hamid, streaming all the way from Lagos. Thank you so much for joining, and we are good to go. good to go. Okay, so while we look forward to every other person joining, so please keep the comments coming. Let us know where you're joining from. It will be a pleasure to have you all here. So we promise to have a wonderful session today, and our guest is live with us currently as we speak. So we also have happiness from Lagos. I think my Lagos persons are joining now. I thought I was alone, so we have Edmond, and as I said, it's a global meeting. So let's get ready. So I know a number of us have been hearing about Amazon Bedrock. I've been hearing about AI, machine learning, and the benefits of it. But today we'll be moving into an awesome and amazing part of it today, which we'll be talking about how we can leverage Amazon Bedrock for incident response. Now, incidents are maybe situations that are not expected, but how we can respond to it, remediate it, and even move ahead from it. So, Amazon Bedrock would be an awesome solution I'll be looking at today. And we have our guest speaker, or I'll say tutor for today, who is in the person of, sorry, minutes, who is in the person of Aniekwe Angela Chidiogo, who is also live here with us. Hi, welcome on board. And a very brief foundation, or should I say, introduction. I'm not reading all her whole portfolio. If we do that, we might not be able to live here today. So she's an information security analyst and passionate educator who enjoys making cybersecurity concepts easy to understand. So, if you think cybersecurity has been a big mountain to climb, you're at the right place, and everything will be made clear today. And she goes beyond tech. She loves engaging in community initiatives and inspiring others. And when time allows, you'll find her bringing creativity to life through fashion design. I look forward to having some of your attires also. So thank you so much for joining us, Chidiogo. The session is all yours. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Samuel. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Samuel, if you can hear me, please can you confirm?
I hear you very clearly, loud and clear. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. I think I can go on to share my screen now. Okay, if my screen is all visible, can you confirm as well? Hello, Samuel.
Yeah, we can see. Yeah, we
Hello.
can see your screen. It's visible. Yeah,
Okay.
very clear.
All right, thank you very much. So, good evening once again, everyone, and thank you for joining. And thank you for the awesome introduction, Samuel. So, today we're going to be talking about leveraging Amazon Bedrock for incident response. And I think just how the topic was structured, me, I would say that what we are doing is how we can use the benefits of Amazon Bedrock in cybersecurity. And this is just like having three industries interact in one use case. Now we have Amazon Bedrock. What does Amazon Bedrock signify? Artificial intelligence. And over time, we've always, at the current time, and mostly what's in vogue in cybersecurity now is the use of AI in cybersecurity. And that is what the topic talks about. How can we use artificial intelligence, a benefit of Amazon Bedrock in incident response, one of the use cases of cybersecurity. There are a lot of other aspects or other things you can do with artificial intelligence. You can use them for vulnerability management, risk assessment, and a lot of other good stuff. But today we are focusing on incident response. And before we delve into how we can use Amazon Bedrock for incident response, I want us to talk about Amazon Bedrock as a tool, as a service, an AI tool, so we can know where to come in when we want to leverage it for incident response or other use cases in cybersecurity. What is Amazon Bedrock? Amazon Bedrock, by the definition, I got this definition from Amazon. They said it is a fully managed service that offers leading foundation models along with a broad set of capabilities to build generative AI applications privately and securely. So this is the definition, and there is something that is very striking here: fully managed service and leading foundation models. So now, initially, those days, there are a lot of hassles when it comes to building artificial intelligence systems or programs. But Amazon Bedrock has simplified it, and every other thing that you may need to be able to build this system, it has brought it halfway. It's just like you buying a half cooked meal, so that instead of going home to start from scratch, going to different outlets to get the ingredients one by one, you just buy something that has been half cooked, just go home and just prepare it in a way that suits you the most. And that is what it does. It has helped developers, AI developers, individuals like you and I who are AI enthusiasts to have access to a service that can help us leverage foundation models from leading AI companies to be able to build our own custom artificial intelligence, generative AI tools securely without worrying about infrastructures or servers or even cost. Now, on the other side are some of the foundation models that you can find in Amazon Bedrock. We have Anthropic Cloud. I think there is Cloud version 1, Cloud version 2, Cloud version 3. So when you are looking for a model that can give you the results of exceptional reasoning, that can engage in very long conversations that are very meaningful, super fast and essential, you can look for Anthropic Cloud versions. Maybe use the latest version, version 3. And also you can find AI 21 Labs Jurassic. You can, when you want to have a model that maybe you are building an artificial intelligence program that you need, just like a generative AI that can give you results that sound very creative, like what you do or get when you interact with a human. And then we have Meta Llama, it's another kind of model that is like the Anthropic Cloud model. It is very exceptional. It is super fast, and the good thing about the Meta Llama model is that it is very smart, but then it uses less computing power, so it can do lots of complex stuff without costing you so much behind the scene. Then we have the Stability AI for image generation. It can generate realistic, artistic images. And then we have Cohere when you want to use a retrieve augmented generation and then add it with document analysis, something most likely that you get with the ChatGPT of today, not the one that we had as at 2022. And then we have Amazon Titan, that is Amazon custom foundation model, especially if your workload is on AWS, you can easily use Amazon Titan to be able to get an artificial intelligence program that can help you solve issues around your environment. Now, the thing or the basic thing that Amazon Bedrock has solved for us as a service. So let's take, for instance, we want to build an artificial intelligence system. What we will do is that we would need a model. The model is the brain of an artificial intelligence program. It is just like what's the algorithm, the actual algorithm that looks at patterns to be able to make decisions, make predictions. So under the model, you might be looking for machine learning models, you might be looking for deep learning models if you want to be able to have an artificial intelligence program that can reason like a human. So to be able to identify patterns, identify faces in photos, identify words in sentences, or you want to have something like generative AI applications that can be able to bring out new content, be able to generate realistic images, or you look for reinforcement learning if you're building an AI application that cuts across the that does with trial and error for those in the gaming and the robotic industries. And the other part of an AI system that you might also want to go get if you're not using Amazon Bedrock is data. So data is like the fuel. It is the actual thing that the artificial intelligence program fits on. It is where it learns from. So you can have your structured data like tables, logs, spreadsheets, and all of those good stuff. You can also have unstructured data like if the data or whatever that is going to be going on in your artificial intelligence program is going to be in form of videos, audios, images, and maybe written text and the rest of those stuff, then you could have big data or get machines or tools that can help you analyze vast amounts of data in a very short time. And also you can get data leveling tools that humans can use to teach AI that okay, this particular data set belong to or use it to tag AI to be able to show you that okay, this data belongs to this data set and all of those stuff. Additionally, you could be looking at infrastructure and frameworks. So these infrastructure are just like tools or components that help you to train, to build and train your artificial intelligence models. Looking at AI frameworks, like I think there is one called TensorFlow, there is PyTorch. These frameworks are just like pre-built libraries that can leverage instead of building your artificial intelligence program from scratch. You can just use those pre-built libraries by other developers and just build out of it. Or you can also have your training infrastructure like the GPUs, those super fast computer chips that you can use to train your models. Or you can get distributed learning tools, tools that can help you distribute the training of your data. So instead of using one GPU, you can use multiple computers that are super fast, and at the same time, you can now be training your artificial intelligence program. And on the other side, you may be looking at development and machine learning operations tools like ML platforms like ML Flow, Kubeflow that you can use to set up a pipeline for your machine learning for the artificial intelligence program. And on the other side, if you have some other integrations that you could get for your artificial intelligence program, you could be looking at a CI/CD pipeline, like the normal CI/CD pipeline with Jenkins, with GitHub Actions, Bitbucket, and those stuff. Then model deployment. So you may be looking at how to build your artificial intelligence artifacts so that users can be able to um, use them in real time. And in all these components I've mentioned so far, these are different tools that you may be looking at integrating into one system to be able to build your artificial intelligence program. Then on the other side, also you may need a user interface like the front end where users can log into to be able to interact with the artificial intelligence program, and then the back end that's where all the responses would have to go to, and it goes to fetch the data back to the user. And API services, you may also want to use an API, or you call an API for an artificial intelligence plugin that you can plug into your application, so you don't have to build from scratch. You have the Vision API, just like deep learning as well, where you want to be able to recognize photos, people in images, and the rest of them. You could have the language APIs where you want to have your artificial intelligence talk in certain languages depending on the use case or the users that the artificial intelligence program is for. You could also have speech APIs like converting speech to text and the rest of them. So all of these are what AWS Bedrock has solved so far. So if you're leveraging Amazon Bedrock, you are not going to think about model now. You're not going to think about infrastructure and frameworks. You're not going to think about the development and ML op tools. You're not going to think about API services. All you may want to think about, depending on what the use case is, could be your data, because you want it to be very custom to your environment and user interface. You want to be able to use it efficiently depending on the kind of AI system you are trying to build. So this is it about Amazon Bedrock. And now, another thing that makes it powerful, especially when you are trying to use it for use cases in cybersecurity or other use cases out there, is model variety. Amazon Bedrock has a lot of models and it is still innovative, meaning that new models will be added in the future. There are a lot of models depending on what use case or what you're building. You can leverage one of the Amazon foundation models to be able to build whatever artificial intelligence program that you need. And then there is no infrastructure overhead. You are not planning to go buy your get your GPUs, set up the buy the tools that you need to use to build your AI systems. You are not even, it's just majorly operational. It is on demand, meaning that you are paying for what you're using. You are not paying, you are not getting some of the tools that actually maybe in future time they will just get out of they become obsolete or not fit purposefully into the use case or whatever you're building. And there is this part of customizability. There is the part of fine tuning, and also there is the part of, I've actually forgotten the other part, but if you want to customize, like let's take for instance, you want to use your own data or you want to use the model without even inputting your data, you can just use, depending on what use case that you have, you can fine tune with your data, just customize the model a bit so it can be able to solve certain use cases. But if that is not the case, you can just go ahead to just use the model so long as it solves whatever scenario that you are building or you're using the Amazon Bedrock to build. And there is the part of agents and orchestration. So you can build AI agents that you can plug into an external system to be able to use the artificial intelligence that you have built out of Amazon Bedrock. Or you can additionally use LangChain, especially when you want to have a more advanced AI tool that can maybe have memories, keep memories to be able to do much more engaging or advanced tasks. And you can as well have your own declarative and build your own agents declaratively. So this is a way that you can have an artificial intelligence program that is more context aware. It can solve a problem using very complex workflows. Everything all depends on what the case scenario is or what the use case is. And then you will also have another very good thing about Amazon Bedrock is enterprise grade security. So Amazon generally is considered safe. If you use Amazon for your day-to-day activities, you can as well leverage Amazon Bedrock because from the one of the talks I saw about the VP of Amazon, where he was talking about Amazon Bedrock, it's they said that the data that you feed into the Bedrock, they are safe. Amazon does not use it to retrain their model. They don't share it with third parties. So long as your data, you have safely onboarded your data into Amazon Bedrock, you can be rest assured that it is safe. And aside from that, there are a lot of other security services that you can leverage to ensure that your security or the security of your Bedrock AI applications are tight and trustworthy. And lastly, it is cost effective. So if you are not bothered about infrastructure overhead, that means it is generally cost effective. You are only paying for what you used, and maybe at the time that you use them, you are not paying for what you didn't use, or you are not buying this or buying that and the rest of it. So now, coming into Amazon Bedrock in incident response. So basically, an incident by definition is an incident response is a structured approach to handling and managing the aftermath of a cybersecurity breach or attack, also called a security incident. So most likely, or most cases, you would call an incident an attack, but sometimes they are not, except maybe on rare occasions where you have a real-time security breach. A lot of events come in daily for people who work in cybersecurity, especially those who work in the SOC. So some of these events, you may need an incident response playbook or incident response structure or an SOP to be able to attend to those events. Maybe it's at the end of the event triaging that you can say, okay, it was just an event or it was an incident. So this is the workflow, or this is the method that you can use to be able to arrive at that point. So that is what the incident response action is about. Once there's an incident, or once there is an alert that has been triggered by the security tool, then the alert has to be reviewed. You want to look at some of the things in the log that could signal, okay, it could give you some ideas on what had happened, why the alert was triggered. And in some cases, you as an analyst, depending on the level and access this analyst has on a particular tool, they may not be able to find what the root cause of that alert is. And this is where they get to escalate maybe to a tier 3 or a senior analyst, or the next line or the next person in the chain of incident response. And maybe that person may need to compare, carry out some root cause analysis, like going to reach out to the user involved, going into the tools deeply to be able to find out what could have been the root cause analysis, and then reach out to or bring a resolution. So it is based upon this incident response action that I'm going to use this use case. So when we want to leverage Amazon Bedrock, we are going to use that incident response action to be able to use a particular case scenario to see how we can leverage Amazon Bedrock in an incident response. So, like I said, there are a lot of issues or alert use cases or incidents use cases that you could have in or use Amazon Bedrock for. So you could have brute force attempts, you could have unusual login patterns, you could have multiple authentication, and the list is unending. So let's take, for instance, let me use paint a scenario for maybe a company or an organization that uses Amazon as their environment. All their workload is on Amazon. All the tools, security tools they are using, most of them are Amazon tools. So companies that are fully on Amazon. Now, let's take for instance that there is an issue of a brute force attempt. So this is the incident trigger, brute force. And what is this brute force? It could be maybe a user tried to use a username or password multiple times to try to log in into Amazon. So maybe the user must have forgotten the username or password, or something happens. The user tries to log in the first time, second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time, sixth time, 10th time, and maybe 20th time. So as the user is trying to log in, there are security tools in Amazon that audits user actions. We have CloudTrail, for instance. So as the user is trying on multiple ends or multiple times to log in, CloudTrail is logging failed login attempts from this user. And once maybe there is one, two, three, or four, Amazon Guard Duty is another security tool that will look at, okay, from this particular IP address, there has been multiple failed login attempts. So Amazon Bedrock does not know, maybe the IP address is the same IP address that this user has been using for maybe the past 1 week or maybe over a very long period of time. What is going to happen is that Guard Duty also looking at this part, use of analysis and intelligence. What you could do is additionally look up threat intelligence feeds to check the IP address of that user to be able to know, okay, if that IP address is has been involved, it has bad reputation, it has been reported, and even if it is not, it has not been reported, this IP address is also an IP address of this user over time. What it is going to generate an alert on is that there has been multiple failed login attempts, and to it is seeing it as if there is an SSH brute force, and not SSH, sorry, there is a brute force attempt on an account or on a user account or on the company's AWS environment. And this is where the detection comes in. So once Amazon Gravity has seen that, it is going to send the alert to the SIM. So either the SIM detects, or for maybe a company that does not have a full-blown SIM, they can now leverage Amazon Bedrock. Or additionally, even if the company has a SIM where the analyst could see, they could now have some configurations in Amazon Bedrock, or perhaps they might have leveraged Amazon Bedrock to build an AI agent, or just configured it without building an AI agent, just configured it for incident response. So if this is the case, if there is a SIM where the security analyst can see, and then there is additionally Amazon Bedrock configuration for incident response, we are going to have two tools detecting, which is still okay. So the humans can get to see the SIM, and then the other detection goes to Amazon Bedrock. And what will Amazon Bedrock do here? So depending on what configuration it has received initially, it could do automated summarization. So it could look at, okay, this IP address, go into the environment to look at this IP address. If it is an IP address that has been seen on the environment, that means it must have been the IP address of a known user. So whatever is the case that is making the user have failed login attempts, it has not been solved at this point in time. But then Amazon Bedrock has gone to see that, okay, this IP address belongs to a user. Or at the other side, it could go into the tool to look at the IP address and, okay, this IP address has not been seen on this environment. That means it does not belong to a user. Okay, this is another case scenario. Now, if this IP address does not belong to a user, or if it belongs to a user, whatever the case is, it could do the second step, playbook reasoning. So it is going to roll out an incident response playbook. Okay, since this IP address has been seen in the environment, these are other steps that it could take to be able to take actions. The next action, which is the chat ops, whether it belongs to the user or not, it is going to go through the next step, that is chat ops. It could talk with the analyst, maybe raise a ticket, or um, send a Slack message about all it has gathered from the auto summarization of that particular incident, of that particular user, or that particular IP address, whatever is the key that the Amazon Bedrock has been designed to hold on to. It is going to have to bring out, based on chat, it is going to have to bring out some of the things it has found so far. So whether there is an analyst who is looking at the workflow or not, you're going to eventually see that, okay, this IP address, this is where we found this IP address, this is the user it belongs to, this is how long this IP address has been seen on this environment, and some other things. And based on these two, it could now give triage assistance, especially where you have users or you have security analysts that are on duty. So what could it do here? It could suggest recommendations. Okay, based on that recommendation, there could be some other, it could, after suggesting the recommendation, it could go ahead, maybe trigger automated action, or just suggest recommendation. What other things can the analyst look at? Maybe the information on the log is not enough. It could also help them, give them recommendations on, they could go into the tool or ask these questions or just do certain things to be able to arrive at a concrete resolution. And additionally, it could give them language processing. What do I mean by this? So for sometimes these logs are not always easy to interpret. So based on the language that the analyst, based on their region or their geographical location, you know the kind of language that they understand. So Amazon Bedrock can translate the logs from the incidents so that the analyst on duty can be able to have a more understanding or a closer understanding to what has happened. Another instance of this is, for instance, most times these logs are, they are always in key value pairs, and it is always a bit difficult to understand what a key does or what the value of that key is. So you can use, also in the language processing, they could add additional tests on each line of the JSON to be able to explain what a particular line of the log is, so that the analyst on duty or the human analyst can be able to understand. And then the next thing is take automated action. So why this is not, it is not very advised in critical environments, is that if an AI takes an automated action, most times, what if there is an incident, a real-time incident? What if it's not just false positive this time around? So there are other mitigation or there are other best practices to that, but you can have the Amazon Bedrock take automated action, like if the IP address does not belong to a user within the environment, the Amazon Bedrock can go ahead to update the block list to block, or send message to the user to change their password, apply MFA, lock out accounts, maybe disconnect from endpoints, just whatever the mitigation action is based on the incident response playbook. Amazon Bedrock can take that action. So at the end of the day, what have you achieved when you leverage Amazon Bedrock for incident response? What problem have you tried to solve using AI in incident response? So most times, in as much as some of these incidents they come off, or events come off as false positives, it could take a lot of time to be able to, get to reach out to the user or triage these incidents based on the playbook. So sometimes when you have the automated process, it helps you to streamline time-consuming investigations. So instead of users to have 27 tabs open while they are trying to find this, find that, find this, just about one incident, they can, artificial intelligence from Amazon Bedrock can help you reduce the time it will take by going to get some of those information that you have to go search deep into the logs for. And then initially, the SOC teams, they are always overloaded. Like if you have a SOC team that has a very noisy environment, it's always making the security teams, they're always tired of seeing different alerts, working on different alerts, and most times towards midday they're already tired, or towards the end of the shift they're already tired. So if there is an automated part of the incident response, it is easier for them to just have a look to see that what AI has done, it did it well, and maybe just use that validation check to be able to finalize the incident response workflow. or just have the artificial intelligence program do it halfway for them. And it will take away manual root cause analysis, because instead of going to the different tools, going from one log source to the other to find some of the evidences you need to prove that an event is either malicious or not, AI will just help you come halfway into finding root cause analysis, automated root cause analysis. And then alert fatigue generally is an issue when you come to using incident response and security operations center. So if you use, Amazon Bedrock, aside from it helping you to solve the incident halfway, you can also use it to fine tune probably some, or use it to correlate incidents that are always coming off as false positive. If there maybe for a period of time a particular alert has been getting triggered and it comes out each time as something that is benign or something that is false positive, you can easily just use artificial intelligence to take away that. And at the end of the day, everybody goes home happy, everything is automated, and only when a human is needed for manual review that a security analyst might need to step in. And then generally the process of incident response has gotten faster by leveraging artificial intelligence that was configured out of Amazon Bedrock to solve this issue. Now, the part of security. So we're talking about responsible use of AI in cybersecurity. Excuse me. So, in as much as artificial intelligence is really, really helpful, or Amazon Bedrock configuration for AI is very, very helpful, there are other things that we may need to put into consideration so that we don't impact on confidentiality of data, or we don't impact on the integrity of our incident response program, or impact in the availability of our systems. So the basic one is data privacy and usage. So by default, Amazon does not have access to the data that you have on your Amazon Bedrock, which is a very good pass. But then you have to ensure that your data stays within your AWS environment. You can use VPC configuration to ensure that you have a controlled environment for your Amazon Bedrock data or configuration. And you can also avoid sending sensitive logs to Amazon Bedrock. It all depends on what the use case is. For incident response process to happen very efficiently, you might need those logs to be sent without redacting any part of it, so that Amazon Bedrock workflow can, help you achieve the main goal. But for less case scenarios, if it is possible, you redact some of the data, or change or find a way to block some of the personally identifiable information, some of the API token, or any other sensitive key or information that might be in your log. The next one is access control. So you also want to ensure or enforce principle of least privilege using IAM rule. Ensure that only users who should have access, and also use resource policies to be able to identify people, or when users can be able to access Amazon Bedrock. And then also look at prompt injection and output safety. You want to ensure that all inputs that are going into Amazon Bedrock, they are validated to avoid prompt injection, a situation where an attacker can trick the artificial intelligence program model to behave in a certain way that is not expected of it. And you can also use Amazon Bedrock Guardrail to have a content filtering policies for the content that is going in and coming out of Amazon Bedrock. You can also look at manual review or confidence threshold to ensure that before, especially in use cases or case scenario where Amazon Bedrock is carrying out automated mitigation action, you want to have at least a human eye look at it, or even if a human eye can't look at it, it should be able to pass a confidence level or a confidence threshold before it can be able to take that action. And very important, if you are using AWS, we have login, monitoring, and auditing. So you have to use CloudTrail to be able to log and audit who access Amazon Bedrock, when, how, and get very detailed information about how the Bedrock service is being accessed. And also, you also need to log in prompts and responses that are going in and coming out of Amazon Bedrock. You need to log them and then save them in a service like Amazon S3 or Amazon CloudWatch. And lastly, you need to consider output risk management. So AI generated action should go through checks. So there is something called a human in the loop. So this is a situation where there is a human that will have to check every output or everything that the Amazon Bedrock is going through. Sorry, I have cough. Sorry about that. So also never let the model act directly on critical infrastructure. Ensure that if it is a production level server, that the artificial intelligence program does not go ahead to carry out certain automated mitigation actions like account lockout policies, um, automated endpoint disconnection, and the rest of it. So I think I can't talk anymore right now. So, so I think this is the end of my presentation. Moderator, you can go on, please. Oh,
Yeah, so sorry, Angela. I'm so sorry about that. I believe you can still hear me well. Um, Sorry about the cough, and I know everybody is also caring about that. Thank you so much for this session. Like, at backstage, and I'm like, wow, 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 showing and simplifying everything to the barest minimum of how Bedrock is helping us handle incidents and proper response with ease for bros. Thank you so much, Angela. And even checking the chat, I could see some other persons joined us. We saw some persons from both Obasere Life from Lagos, Abdulhamid Lagos, Edmond Lagos, Happiness Lagos. We also saw some persons, and it went on to say even one of our guests, one of our audience went on to say her explanation was so detailed, and we are saying was so detailed even with the cough. Thank you so much. Like I'm not even capping now. The simplification of what you've just taught was as simple as possible. Thank you so much. So I think we want to take some questions now, just a number of questions before we move on to our session where we also ask you questions. So please, if you have any question, there's something you want to know, anything that you would like to ask about the session, please you can bring them up now. Thank you. Yeah, okay. We have some questions. Let's see. So please you can ask your questions from anywhere you're streaming from. We are here to take your questions and answer them. Okay, I think there's a question from Happiness. There's a question from Happiness. It says the last I saw her on the space, she was a moderator. Okay, oh, not a question, but I never knew she's so much as a speaker. Okay, okay, that's like a commendation for her. Yeah, I remember the last time I also saw her was as a moderator, but now as a speaker, and it was really an awesome session. Thanks, my boss. So effortlessly detailed. That's from Abdul Hamid. That's from Abdul Hamid. So it was obviously detailed 100%. Okay, I think I love this audience today. They're very caring and loving audience. Thank you so much, everybody. Yes. So please, questions. If you have any. If you have any questions, if you have any questions, I'm watching. Anybody, any questions or anything you want to add? Okay, if there's no questions, okay, just one questions, at least let's have one before we move on to the game session is, does Amazon Bedrock only work solely on logs from AWS, or does it have the capability of allowing log injection from multiple sources for incident response? Does the source for logs for Amazon Bedrock just from AWS alone, or does it take other sources? I don't know if Angela is still there to respond.
Yes, actually, yes, it must not be. I just use the Amazon environment as a use case. So it all depends on what the environment is. When you're talking about using Amazon services, you have to start from an environment that is strictly on Amazon, then before you can integrate with other third party tools, just however you want it, it just builds up that configuration for you. So you can either plug it in into an external application to be able to have something that fits very well into the other tools. But basically, apart from CloudTrail logs, it can solve any or be very relevant in any incident response workflow.
Thank you so much. I believe your response is also very clear. I think you're a specialist in breaking things down to make it very clear. So thank you so much, Angela. And I'm not seeing any question for now. So Amazon Bedrock work with any injection, not just with only cloud trades, work with other session. Okay. Um, while I'm not seeing any question, we might be moving to the game session, where we also ask questions and we give people opportunity to get some giftings or some prizes from the community. Okay. We have the game master and we can all move on to the game section since there are no questions. So you can see, you can check out https://haslight.com/zppaw. So that's the session. So you can go there right now to see the games. You can go there right now to see the games. It's on the screen. It's on the screen. It's on the screen. So let's move there. We are waiting for you. We are waiting for you. We are waiting for you so that we cannot participate in the game. I'm eager to see our winners for today. So we're expecting everyone to please start joining, start joining, start joining. It will be a pleasure to have you join our quiz. So we're saying waiting for players to join. So please let's join in now. Let's join in as we start the quiz. Let's join in. Okay, happiness will answer your question. Will answer your question. Maybe. Okay. Or while we are giving opportunity for others to join the quiz, are there any privacy or compliance risks for using generative AI? I mean, through Amazon Bedrock in incident response workflow. So
Y- y-
Angela can respond to that. Yeah.
Yes, actually. So basically, there is something called data residency in cloud. So if you belong to, or you are maybe a certain industry, or your business is within a certain geographical location, you might want to apply data residency. So what do I mean by this? There are certain regulations that regulate how data is being handled. So for those kind of um, workflow, or if your cybersecurity program is for those kind of industry, you might want to review the kind of data that you send to Amazon Bedrock. But for data privacy, for now, what I know is that Amazon Bedrock is generally safe. It does not it's not poking into your environment to see the data that you are feeding into it. So and it supports most compliance frameworks for the GDPR the HIPAA, SOC 2, and ISO. It supports all security frameworks. So it is generally accepted across all industries. But for the actual data that you are feeding into it, you might have to do that according to your industry or according to the geographical location or some kind of requirement of your industry. And generally, it's considered safe for
Thank you.
incident response.
Thank you so much, Angela. That's also very simplified. So Bedrock is generally acceptable and has a lot of compliance, but if need be, you can do some extra compliance based on your industry. Yeah. Okay, so we see a number of persons have joined the quiz. We can see Pharaoh. Pharaoh, I like the way you spelled your name. We can see Jay, we can see Beans, we can see Star Trek, we can see David, we can see Defcon, we can see Z, we can see case. So I'm happy seeing a lot of persons. Okay, so let's start with the questions immediately. Let's start with the questions so we can start. So it's usually based on fastest and who is correct and at the same time fast. So that's what we are looking at. So we can begin the quiz. So quiz master, the question. So okay. So first question is, what is the main benefit of using Amazon Bedrock in incident response? Option A, replace all security analysts with AI. It helps automate log analysis with and assist ingestion. It blocks threats before they occur. It scans. I really can't see that part, but let's see the answer to this. Okay, time's up. Let's show our answer and who is the fastest. The correct answer is it helps automate log analyst and assist in investigation. That's also someone who was the fastest and correct. Oh, we can see Beans. So Beans is leading, followed by Big Girl, K, David, Star Trek, and others. So let's move on to the next. Oh, I'm eager to see who wins today's quiz. Okay, how does Amazon Bedrock help reduce alert fatigue in a SOC? How does Amazon Bedrock help reduce alert fatigue in a SOC? So let's see. Answer. So the correct answer is by summarizing and prioritizing alerts using. Oh, so let's see the leaderboard. Oh, Beans is still leading with 160 points, and followed closely by Z at 159 and Big Girl at 159, 150. Wow, this is very a close war. So let's see the next question. Let's go on to the next question. Which AWS service can trigger a response flow work that involves Amazon Bedrock? Let's see. Okay, Amazon S3, Mesa, Lambda, and I can't really see the last option. Amazon Workspace. Okay, so let's see who gets it right. Answer is AWS Lambda. So let's see who is on the leaderboard now. I know some persons will be feeling like, okay, who is leading? Oh, Atom is leading now with 251 points, followed by Kiza. I think there's a big table turn here, followed by Kiza 241, 232, 229. So let's move on. Let's get to the third question out of five. We have two more questions to go. Fourth question out of five. Fourth rather out of five. What role does Bedrock play in supporting security analysts? What role does Bedrock play in supporting security analysts? So let's see. We have different options. Okay. Let's see the answer and who is leading. So it enhances decision making and automates repetitive tasks. Awesome. Awesome. Let's get to see the leaderboard again. Ooh, awesome. So we have Kiza at 324 points, Shinra, then David. Okay, that's awesome. I think we have just one final question that we end up determining who ends as our leader and winner for today's quiz session. And how can organizations tailor Bedrock to their security needs? Okay, we have the options by purchasing custom license, through prompt engineering and model fine tuning, by modifying its source code, by connecting it to Google Cloud. Okay, let's see when and so what's our answer? Oh, through prompt engineering and model fine tuning. Awesome, and that's our fifth question. And based on leaderboard, we have um, Shinra with 405 points leading on the leaderboard. Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations, Shinra. I don't know who is Shinra. Congratulations, Shinra, for leading the leading today and being a winner for today's quiz session on Amazon Bedrock and leveraging it for incident response. So Shinra, please, I will need you to send a mail to our official mail to signify that you are the Shinra, or you can signify here also. Is God's power, are you Shinra, or who is Shinra? Let's get Shinra. Thank you so much for participating, and also for others who participated, everyone who participated in the quiz. Thank you so much for participating. It shows that we actually understood what was taught and we are following. And though it's about who is the fastest, but I could see a number of us got the questions right. Thank you so much. It shows that it was really an amazing session, and it was good being your moderator. It was good having our speaker today, Angela, even though she had some slight cough, but she was able to still give us a wonderful, informative session. Thank you so much. So, Gospel Melary, do well to reach out. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. So, Shira, you can take a screenshot of your screen and send an email so we can be sure you are the right person who got our winner for today. So, thank you, everyone, for joining. We have a session in the next 2 weeks. So we have it coming up on Fridays and Saturday by 6 p.m. So do well to join. It will be an amazing session. We have more powerful topics coming up, and I think this is an opportunity for us to get more even into AI. And it's good to have you. Thank you. I saw Abimbola join from Canada. I saw some other persons joining from different parts of the world. It has been awesome having you. Have a wonderful time. Do well to follow the community. The link is also on the chat, and we'll be happy to host you some other time. Have a wonderful weekend and cheers. Bye.